Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome to Story Saturday. I see my name says Casey Wilson again, so I don't know what's going on with my name. I don't know what's going on with my name on Insight Timer. I'm trying to remember on the live I was at last night how my name came up. I'm pretty sure it came up Soraya. So either way, hi, welcome everyone to Story Saturday. Our theme that we're doing right now is remembering through the records. We are reading the Akashic Records Made Easy by Sandra Anne Taylor. So today we're going to be reading chapter 6. Chapter 6 is where we really start looking at a specific issue from our past. And then there's actually two guided meditation exercises in this chapter. The first one is going to have us going in and getting information about where the issue that we choose is coming from. Get some information from past life records with that. And then the second meditation, we're going to go in, and that's where we're going to rewrite that record. So today isn't going to be as much about reading. I mean, yes, I'm still reading the book, but this chapter is really heavily exercise based. So it'll be the two main guided meditations that we'll be doing for that. If you do want to have a piece of paper, a journal, something like that, because after that, there's some affirmations and there are too many of them for me to write them out and then put them in my group. Like if it was only a few, I would have no problem with that, but it's a lot. So if you just want to listen, that's perfectly fine too. But if you listen to the affirmations, you might find one or two you like, and then you can jot them down yourself. Catherine, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Catherine, I'm super excited. We have 32 people coming to the live tomorrow, or 32 people RSVP'd the live tomorrow about the retreat. So super excited. Hello, Pam. First time here from Cortlandt Manor, New York. Welcome in, Pam. So that is something I will just mention. If you are new here today and you have not been, following along every week, it's okay. You don't have to. I mean, yeah, you'll know the information she talked about before, but there's enough information in each chapter before the things that we do for you to be able to pick up exactly what she's trying to have you do in that chapter. Hello, Lee. Welcome in. Hi, Christine. Oh, Christine, thank you so much. And you know what I mean. Thank you. Thank you so, so very much. I messaged you back, but I don't know how that works on there and if you all see that. Welcome in. So Pam and Lee, same thing. Doesn't matter that you haven't been here before. There's enough explanation of why we're going to do what we're doing today with our issue before we go back to the Akashic Records. If you stay, through the whole thing and like it and want to go back, I'm recording all of these, and all the past weeks prior to this are all recorded and already uploaded. And you can go to my about section and down to the bottom to my link, and you can find where that would be. Hi, Evie. So good to see you as well. So good to see you as well. All right. So, like I said, today there's going to be a little book reading, but the majority of it is those guided meditations. She calls them exercises, but they're pretty much guided meditations. So, I think that this format works out really well because if you're reading the book yourself and you're trying to do it, you're having to look, right? You're having to keep your eyes open. You're having to look and, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be saying? And then you got to try to do it. And then you're like, crap, okay, now I got to look. What was next? So I feel like this type of atmosphere really lends itself well because then you all don't have to read. You can just be, you can just hear, you can listen, and you can fully fall in to the space, um, which is a good thing. Hi, Jamie. So good to see you. So good to see you. Oh, I forgot to do the little things. the promotional cards. I forgot to do the promotional cards. I don't have next week's live in yet. I just realized. I was like, great. So when this one ends, nothing's going to pop up for next Saturday. So, but we do this every Saturday. So, all right, everybody, we will get started. We will get started. All right, so chapter 6. This is about changing your past can change everything. So it's not uncommon that past life records we uncover often reveal difficult events because those are the ones we are being called to heal and reverse. Each of us has many lives, however, where there was great joy. However, where there was great joy. But it's the problematic past that needs to be rewritten so we can let go of what's negatively influencing us now. Whatever it is you're going through, your in eternal self, words case, need words today. Your eternal self is capable of removing the emotional blocks that are sourced in the past. So once you grasp the issues that are vibrating in your personal records, you're totally free to reshape the direction of your life. It isn't necessary to reverse every episode in your past. As you work on rewriting the main event, you can heal the issue and reverse unwanted patterns, even if they cross several lifetimes. So, though some patterns may take more time, the past, present, and future can often be altered in one brief moment. This powerful shift can redirect the power and energy of your present life, generating wonderful effects. With each new resolution, you become less burdened with the problems and difficult emotions of the past and move toward being more authentically empowered now. It's a process that's so illuminating and liberating, it can change the very nature of your life. So, how it works. So, stop and take a moment to reflect on your life. What patterns do you want to reverse? So, is there something that you feel you're repeating? Is there something you feel you're compensating for? Old stuck energy can block the flow of your life force vibration, creating obstacles to wealth, romance, healing, and even the creativity that you long for. But significant changes like releasing present blocks can arise when you rescript the energy, emotions, and conclusions that are still vibrating in your records of the past. So your consciousness creates both your records and your reality. When you clear the unknown yet influential experiences from past records, you shift your consciousness and everything else starts to change. Since all time is vibrating at the same time, it can be relatively easy to look into the records of the past and view some important events. It will be important, however, to create a focus for each viewing, one that opens the records to the source of the specific issue that you're dealing with now. So once you've witnessed the event, you can rewrite the records of both the experience and the thoughts and emotions that go along with it. By changing those records, you can be released from the event and its influence. You can support that change by using affirmations in your present life and committing to live in the empowerment energies that you choose in your newly written records of that event. This is an important piece of the process to support consciously the changes in your daily life. It may seem difficult at first, right? Habitual patterns can create a web of barriers, feelings of fear, longing, or depression, although undesirable and unpleasant, can become a seemingly safe and familiar cocoon, one which sabotages your desires yet actually feels normal and protective. But you do have the power to let go and bring power, trust, expression, and worthiness into your intentions and your present circumstances. It often takes courage to change the present, to take the next step, to move into the unknown. Yet rewriting your past life records can be a significant help in the process. When you think of the simultaneity of cause and effect, you know that you can reach back and change the past. And in the very moment that you do, you are also shifting the future. Every moment is vibrating with pure potentiality, past, present, and future. And you can write brand new records in every area of your life. Excuse me. I need to take a sip of water. I normally only do 2 lives a week, and this is my third. Third. Getting ready to view past life records. So there are 2 different meditative processes, like I mentioned already in this chapter, which are designed to help you take a look at the past and then rewrite the records there. So in the first one, you will view the records of a period of time just before the origination of the issue that you're focusing on. Although regression is probably the most common technique used to delve into past lives, viewing can be just as enlightening because you still have the awareness of both your present personality and the identity of the past life. You also have the ability to connect the meaning of that experience to your current situation. It will be like watching a movie that you are in. You'll know who you were then and understand the details of the experience, as well as the thoughts and emotions of the person you were at that time. Let yourself receive the information in any way that is comfortable for you. Although you are visiting a very specific episode in that life, you will be able to feel, sense, or recall everything that led up to that specific event. You'll also be able to recognize who the people are around you, if any, and you'll be able to understand their relationships to you both in that life and in this. After you're done witnessing the event where the issue originated, you can stay in that life and proceed forward in time and see how the various elements in the situation played out then. This will be a helpful pursuit when you're doing the rewriting of the records of that life. For example, if you were attacked and robbed in the event, let yourself take the movie of that life forward. You may find that the injury of that event led to a lifetime of pain, an experience that could be connected to a physical problem of this life. Or you may find that for the rest of that life, you recorded the belief that it's unsafe to have money, a compelling record that could be connected to poverty in this life. So, choosing focused intentions for past life record investigations. So, hi, Angela. So good to see you. Poverty, illness, difficult relationships, all are issues from your past life that you can focus on. But since the records hold all the information from your past lives, it's important to choose one issue at a time to view with the intention of healing. So, here follow a few things you might want to consider when choosing your focused intention. The first one is reactive patterns. So these are the uncomfortable emotional reactions that repeat in regular patterns in your everyday life, like anxiety, fear of speaking up for yourself, feelings of inadequacy or inferiority, chronic worry or fear, depression or hopelessness. These are just a few of the patterns that could be sourced in your past life records. The next one is unhealthy behaviors. So, do you engage in any regular activities that are unhealthy or dishonor you? These could range anything from addiction with substances to simply feeling the need to work all the time, workaholics, right? Any pattern or behavior could have its seeds in past life experiences, and finding and erasing it in the records will help make it easier to change in this life. Over attachment is another one. So, this pattern can manifest in behavior such as addiction, or it can be an attachment to a person, a place, or an experience. So, if an attachment becomes unhealthy in any way, it could be very valuable to investigate it in your past life records viewing. So, this includes relationship connections that no longer honor you. And then relationship issues, right? Relationship issues. If you want to heal any difficult relationship patterns, rewriting your past life records can be extremely helpful. So, some common relationship problems include repeatedly attracting unavailable, critical, or dismissive partners, feeling stuck in dishonoring partnerships, inability to let go of old lost loves or longings, repeatedly finding yourself in hostile situations, whether that's at work or with friends or in relationships, family history of being marginalized, hurt, or even abused, loneliness or isolation, or just a lack of love. You can rewrite your past life relationship records and give yourself the power and wisdom you need to change the energy of your present relationship experiences. So she has got an example here. So I'm going to read that example. It says records of responsibility. So the search for empowerment and truly loving relationships drove a client named Maria to look into her past life records. Marie. Marie was in a cold and loveless marriage. She and her husband shared a home, but not much more. She was a dutiful housewife who cooked and cleaned and worked hard in their home. Her husband implied that he needed her, but he never showed any appreciation for what she did. Marie was discouraged, yet every time she tried to leave, he made her feel guilty to the point where she would always decide to stay. When we investigated this relationship in the records of her past lives, we found that her present husband had once been her son. Through an accident in a primitive type of kitchen, her son had lost his vision and his face had been badly burned. Throughout the rest of that life, Marie felt responsible for her son, who never married and never regained his sight. Her records held deep guilt and relentless responsibility for him, and she came to this life with those feelings coded in her consciousness. The Akashic records she brought with her from that life were highly charged with self recrimination, grief, and also resentment for having to care for him day and night. Marie's soul came to this life wanting her to take her power back. She had long needed to forgive herself for that experience and to let go of responsibility for him. She came back with him to work this out and rewrite the records that had been keeping her stuck in this life and in probably many more. Once Marie made the connection between the past life record of guilt and responsibility, she was able to understand why she had found it so difficult to let go. She was tired of the demands and the lack of appreciation. However, so she rewrote the records of that past life event, erasing the accident and letting go of her guilt and responsibility. She saw her son in that life grow up healthy and able to take responsibility for himself, and now she knew it was time to let her husband do the same. In addition to rewriting those records, she used affirmations of release and self empowerment. In time, she mustered up the courage to take the action she had been longing for and yet resisting for so long. Soon, she was ready to strike out on her own. When she finally did, she told me that she felt more liberated than she had ever felt before. I feel like somebody is relating to that because my throat chakra is going nuts. All right, so some tips for going back before we get into the exercise. During the past life process, pick one issue to focus on, but don't stress over the details. The movie on your viewing screen will reveal an event in your personal records that took place just a few minutes before the origination of the issue you want to focus on. So try not to overanalyze the information that you get. You may see or feel every vivid detail, or you may just get a vague sense of what's going on. Even if you don't tend to see or sense anything at all, your eternal consciousness is picking up some important data. So just let it sink in and repeat the exercise again if you have to, letting yourself be open to more and more information in the time to come. Just as you shouldn't let any lack of information sidetrack you, try not to let any high emotions within the experience derail you as well. It can be uncomfortable to find out difficult details of past lives. The experience you see may be very emotional and may have made you feel powerless then, but now the opposite is true. You're receiving the information so you can rewrite that record and move out of the experience that is the source of your present problem. And if you find out that you behaved in an unkind way in a past life, especially if you were hurtful to someone you love in this life, make sure to stay objective. This can be very difficult, especially for parents who find out they were cruel to their children they are devoted to today. But remember, this is all a part of an eternal path of each person involved. Never judge yourself for any mistaken paths that you may have chosen in your past. Understand that you were a product of the era, the culture, and your own personal history in that life. The reality is, you did the best you could do. And if you were wrong or mean spirited or even brutal, then you made the only choices that you could given the parameters of all the circumstances of that life. So forgive yourself. This process is intended to take you to a more empowered, more enlightened view of things, and self forgiveness is an important part of your process. Things are neither good nor bad in your past lives. They are just a part of your eternal process, and it's what you do now that reaches back and forward in time and determines the energy of your eternal life. Responding to your lessons with grace, with honor, with authentic power is your true achievement. Your self love now, no matter what you did or didn't do in the past, is your energetic portal to clarity, understanding, and freedom in the present. All right, I'm going to get a cough drop real quick before I get into this. So while I get up and get a cough drop, I'm going to have you all think about one issue that you want to explore when we do this guided meditation. My advice to you is not to pick something that's like a 10, especially if you've never done this before. I'm not saying you have to pick something light, you don't, but you know, maybe pick something in the mid range. And if you're not sure that that's what it's going to be, we don't know sometimes, right? Sometimes we pick one issue and when we go back, we realize it is a 10. Um, but if we're going into it with a 10, you can, but as long as you're ready for any information or emotions that may come up with that. All right, let me grab a cough drop. Oh. Okay. It's funny, I was on the live with Violet 108 last night, her intuitive tarot and cafe, and it was me, Carly, Violet, CG, and Viv. And Carly is very, very sick. And Violet had been sick and was like, Carly, did you make me sick? And I was coughing last night because I'm getting over something. Carly's like, I didn't make you sick. I'm all the way over in Australia. All right, Jocelyn says, can you provide some examples? So, yeah, so basically, oh God, as the book goes to fly out of my hands. So, any of those things that I brought up before, if you notice patterns in, if you notice that you have any reactive patterns, so if you have a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, you can go in wanting to find out where that came from. If you have any unhealthy behaviors you engage in, if you get over attached to things, if you have any recurring patterns in your life, that's what you're kind of looking for. So, any relationship issues that keep happening over and over and over again with friends, with intimate relationships, just anything that keeps coming around and around and around. That you're like, why does this always keep happening? Why does this always keep happening to me? Why does this always keep happening to me? Like those kind of things, those are things that are coming probably from a past life. If you only get scared during thunderstorms or something like that, not saying that couldn't come from a past life thing, but if that's the only time you ever experience fear or anxiety, then that's probably not something we need to necessarily work on. So what are the repeating patterns that you notice in your life? And then pick one of those, and that's what you want to try to investigate. So Jocelyn, I hope that helped. If it didn't, let me know, and I can certainly try to provide some more, or I can just read again. Um, yeah, absolutely, 100%, Jocelyn. Um, Always needing to be in control, always needing to know the answers. You probably definitely had a past life of not empowerment, of lack of power. You might have even been in servitude to someone, not had a voice, something like that. So absolutely, yeah. And if I don't have all the answers, you feel a lot of fear and anxiety. Yeah. So very much so, yes. That would be a really good one because that 100% is coming from some past life. So trying to figure out where that came from would be absolutely great. So the key for me with that one is the fear and anxiety of not having the answers, information, and control means something really bad probably happened to you. I hate to say that, right? But something really bad probably happened to you in a life because you didn't have information, answers, control, um, something like that. So, like, I'll share an example with you all because my past lives are wild. And it was a recurring pattern. But I basically have always been some type of healer. In the 16th century, I was a witch in England, and I was actually really, really popular. And um, I was healing with this family, and I was healing the child of the family, and the child ended up dying. And it wasn't my fault that the child died, but everyone blamed me, and the Church of England actually hung me. So, how did I find that out? I was working my job. I'm a licensed mental health therapist by day. And somebody at my work was super religious. They did not like me. It became this whole huge issue. I got really triggered by it, really, really triggered by it. And I wasn't where I am now on my own spiritual journey. And I was just like, why is this bothering me so much? Like they were not giving me clients. It was a whole ordeal, which ended up that resolved itself. But I was talking to my friend at the time, Heather, and I'm telling her, and she's like, you're getting triggered from a past life event. So I was lucky because she just tapped into me and was able to tell me what it was. I didn't have to do what we're doing now. But she just kind of tapped into me and she's like, oh, this is why, da 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 da. So I had this whole process of what I had to do with basically going back, seeing the family. Um, we all had to see each other. We all had to forgive each other, even the people who hung me. I can't remember because it's been a while ago now. But there was this whole process that I had to do, and that's basically what we were doing is we were rewriting the records of that event. And that was enough for that situation. But since then, I've had more lives come up, and then I finally found the root cause of it. And the root cause of it started in Sicily. And in Sicily, it was bad. And when I discovered the record, I felt all of the emotions, I felt all of it. And I was basically, I mean, torture is not even the good word for it. I was tortured and murdered for being a shaman in Sicily. And that was the original life that started the pattern, the repeated pattern of lifetimes and lifetimes of always being a healer, but not being in my voice. not speaking my voice, not speaking my truth, being afraid, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, because every time in every other life when you I spoke my voice, when I was who I was always killed. So it was super important for me to not only heal those lives, but I was able to go back to the origination life, right? The origination life that started this karmic pattern. Um, let's see. Somebody else said something. Pam, I keep attracting people who are needy. There you go. So why? Why? That could be something you could explore. You know, maybe in past lifetimes, you were somebody who was a healer or somebody that had power, somebody that had control, or maybe you weren't. Maybe in the other lives, you were the one that wanted to be healed or saved or something like needed saving. It could go either way. But yeah, Pam, that's a great thing. Jocelyn says, super religious. They did not like me. I have an obsession with justice. Everything has to make sense and be equally beneficial, fair to all involved. And I find myself and your concerns where I feel like I've been treated unjustly or unfairly, or somebody I love has been. I get very hung up. Absolutely, Jocelyn, very much so. So there is some record, probably many, right, in a past life where bad things have happened either to you or somebody you love. So how do we know if it's something from a past life or something from our present life? So most of the time, if it's a recurring pattern, those are things that indicate that it's from a past life, not from a present life. So like if you're just having an issue with a coworker and you just don't like each other or da 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 da, something like that is probably just present life stuff. But if it's a repeating pattern that you always have problems, no matter where you work with certain coworkers, that's probably a past life thing. So we are human, having a human existence. We are living present lives. There are things that happen to us in this life that don't have anything to do with past lives. Past life stuff is stuff that's reoccurring over and over and over again because they keep trying to get us to pay attention, because they're trying to see if we're going to fix it in this lifetime or if we're going to have to come back again and do it again. Because until we figure it all out, we just come back. So I hope, April, I hope that answered your question. Jocelyn, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay. You are very welcome. Sometimes it is like, that's why I like that she has examples in the book too. And I was saying this, I think, in the live last night, but like most of the stuff that I do on here in Insight Timer, even in my therapy practice, it's all stuff that I've done myself. And not saying if you haven't, that makes you not a good therapist or not a good intuitive guide. I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form, but I think it makes it easier to explain it to people because it's like, okay, hey, I've walked this path, I've done this. Okay, let me share an example of when I did it. And this is what happened when I did it. This might not happen when you do it, but this is like something that could happen kind of thing. Because I'm telling you, that Sicily one, I think I just sat in silence for like the rest of the night after that. Like no music, no TV, no games, no nothing, because I had to sit with the gravity of all of the things that I not only saw but felt, but not like felt. Like I didn't feel like I was being killed, but the emotions of it were so huge. So that's why I say in this session, in this space, you know, make sure if you're looking at something that you think might be like Jocelyn's is probably coming from not a good place. So if Jocelyn feels safe and comfortable to be able to handle any heavy emotions, then proceed as planned, right? But if there's going to be a little fear, right? A little fear, a little anxiety because the unknown. But if it's my gut is on fire going, I don't know if I want to do this, don't do it. Don't do it until you're ready. Like I said, these are recorded. If today's not the day you're ready, don't do it. If today's the day you're ready or feel comfortable enough with any emotions that could come up, then let's go forward. So, all right. So, having said that, let's get ready and do this exercise. So, have your issue identified. So, in this exercise, you're going to be going to your sacred temple. And for those that have been coming, we already did this a while ago. Every single one of us has our own personal sacred temple where our Akashic records are. So we went to that before, and this is where we're going to be going to again. So you are going to your sacred temple, and then your Akashic record screen. You're going to be witnessing a past life event that's connected to your focused intention. So I'm going to read the script. You don't have to follow it. So just try to be open to any information on the screen and any inspiration that you get from your Akashic Records guide. So there is no right or wrong way to do this. Sitting, standing, laying down, however you want to do it. Just make sure that you're comfortable. If you feel safe if you feel safe closing your eyes, you can close your eyes. If not, you can keep them open. Like I said, no right or wrong way. I improvise on this a little bit, because there isn't like a lot of grounding at first or something like that. So I always want to start there. So we're going to get comfortable, and then let's take a deep breath in. See if we can get the breath all the way down to our belly. And then exhale. Let's take another deep breath in, feeling grounding energy. Exhale, releasing any fear, any doubt, any tension. Let's see if we can take a full body inhale all the way down to our sit bone, to our root chakra. Exhale any tensions. Take another deep breath in, deep breath out. So let yourself relax. And we're going to count backwards from 6 to 1. With each descending number, you will feel yourself going deeper and deeper into relaxation, gently floating to your sacred temple, that place of special comfort, peace, and connection. Let's take one final deep breath in, deep breath out. 6. Relax all the muscles in your face, your forehead and eyebrows. Let all the muscles there go loose and limp, relaxed as you let go of all concerns, and let your consciousness gently drop into your heart center. 5, your entire body is going deeper and deeper into relaxation. Feel yourself floating peacefully to your own beautiful sacred temple, where you will be getting a glimpse of a past life in order to heal a present life issue. 4, a warm wave of relaxation is moving through your body. At the count of 1, you will be at your sacred temple, feeling so peaceful, so calm, and so comfortable there. 3, your entire body is deeply relaxed now. You feel a gentle peacefulness in your heart center, and you're looking forward to connecting with your guide and getting an important look at a past life influence. 2, continuing to remain calm and relaxed now. You will remain completely peaceful, calm, and relaxed throughout this entire process. 1, you find yourself at your beautiful sacred temple, such a peaceful place where you always feel welcome, calm, and relaxed. Start to see or sense yourself standing at the center of your sacred temple. You notice a beautiful light emanating from another room. You walk towards it. You go in and find a wonderfully loving spirit there, perhaps an angel or a guide. This is your guide to the Akashic Records, the storehouse of all the information you will ever need, including the potential experiences of past and future lives. Take a moment now to make a heart-to-heart connection with your guide. You feel so relaxed and safe, knowing you will find out important information that will help you to release unwanted records and create greater healing and success. You sit down in an amazingly soft and comfortable chair. It's almost like sitting on a cloud. The guide directs your attention to the opposite wall where you see a screen appear. This is your viewing screen of the Akashic Records. You are about to view a glimpse of time from one of your past lives. Remember, your intention is to identify the source of a present unwanted pattern and to see how this life may be influenced by the past. Let yourself be open to the helpful information as the screen starts to come to life and you begin to see a brief little movie playing out in front of you. Get your bearings as you see this event play out. Let yourself get a sense of the environment, the era, and the situation you're experiencing. Take a moment to get a sense of who you are and what's happening to and around you in this brief moment of past lifetime. Observe things peacefully and objectively. Notice what's happening and how you feel about it. If there are other people in the past life movie, let yourself understand how you are involved with them. Get a sense of the connection there and an understanding of how your present life has been influenced by that past life. And now, remaining in that life you are visiting, take a few moments to let the movie go forward in time in that life. Find out what happens to you and perhaps to the other people in your experience. Allow the movie to keep moving forward in time until you find out the specifics about how the experience affected you in that life. Take a moment to sense any thought or belief you may have formed about this event. sense how the experience made you feel about yourself or others. Become aware of any conclusions you may have made about yourself, your values, or your power then. Get all the information that you need. Let it rise up in your consciousness. And as you get some more clarity, you notice that you feel more comfortable and empowered now. Take a moment to ask your sacred temple guide if there is any information they'd like to tell you. The information may come in the form of an image, a thought, a feeling, a phrase, or a word. Just let yourself receive it now. After you receive this information, say thank you to your Akashic record guide. Know that you will be able to meet with this guide whenever you desire. You are now going to count upward from 1 to 3. At the count of 3, you will be back at the present time and space, bringing with you a new understanding and a readiness to change. 1, coming back to this time and space now. Your past life influences are becoming clearer now. In the time to come, you will receive more information and understanding about how that event is connected to your present life. 2, coming back to this time and space, you are always free to shape a new reality, write a new record, and your new understanding gives you courage and determination to reclaim your power in this life. 3, back to this time and space now. In the days, weeks, and months to come, you will remember to go to your sacred temple whenever you desire to relax, to connect with spirit, or to get any information from the Akashic Records. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Let's take another deep breath in and deep breath out. Let's take one more deep breath in, deep breath out. And slowly start to wiggle your fingers or your toes, or putting your feet flat on the floor to ground yourself. Feel the energy of the earth coming up into your feet, making you feel grounded, healthy, and happy. Take your time coming back into the space. Mm. If anyone would like to share, if they were able to connect, you don't have to share the information. But just if you were able to connect, if you were able to get information. Mary says yes. Good. Good, Mary. Amazing. I can tell you that you guys just witnessed me going through it with you. Because what was I just talking about before? My personal examples of being silenced, not using my voice, and what happened during a live on Insight Timer, during a guided meditation, taking someone to the Akashic Records. My voice started to go. My voice got challenged. My voice got scratchy and itchy. I was coughing, and it was a test. It was a test for me from my guides, from my higher self, from the council. Yes, we know you've cleared that Akashic record, but if it tries to come back and poke, because they do, they try to poke the veil. If something tries to come and poke the veil, can you stand in your power? Can you stand in your voice? So that was very interesting and new for me. So, so I got to go on that journey right along with you. Jordan says that was helpful. Thanks. Awesome. Wonderful. Wonderful, Jordan. I'm so glad that was helpful. Jocelyn says, I had a very clear picture of someone I believed to be drowning, but I was not able to connect enough to find any surrounding details or circumstances. So you can do this as many times as you need to. A lot of times it does take people a few times to go and get information that they need, but you can do this yourself. You can count yourself back from 6. You can imagine going to your temple, meeting your guide, sitting in the chair, seeing the movie screen. Anybody can do this themselves anytime they want to, and then thank their guide and then come back. The thing about the records is a lot of times they only show us what we're ready for. So if they feel like we're not ready for certain information, they might not give it to us yet, if that makes any sense. Um, because they truly don't want to overwhelm us. They don't want to overwhelm us and scare us so that we don't ever come back. because they want us to clear the record, rewrite the record, right? They want us to do that. So if something's too heavy, um, they're not going to do it yet. So like when I was first starting this process, my friend does quantum healing hypnosis. And that's basically what it's doing is it is not putting you out. Like it's not like traditional like hypnotherapy where you're like out. Like I was fully conscious and I was aware of what was going on, but I wasn't like I was there. Um the first time I did it. And it takes you back to past lives. So I kind of was able to get in it, but I was only able to get to like one life. And then she was trying to take me somewhere else and I just wouldn't go and I wouldn't go. And it was because I still had fear. So I had fear and I had doubt then. And then the second time we went to do it, I was ready. I was ready. I had no fear. I had no doubt. I had nothing. And everything stopped because she records them so that you can watch them back later. Because sometimes you don't remember everything that you said. And technology stopped. Her voice record disappeared off of her iPad. Never happened before. So she sat with it. And that was what it was, is I was ready. And if she had put me under, they were going to take me places that I wasn't ready for because I needed to know some things first that I didn't know. So she was able to tell me, okay, look, you need to learn about this. You need to learn about this. You need to know what this is. Because I was going, like I was going, I was gone. I was off. I was off in the cosmos. And then she noticed that it had stopped. So she kind of brought me back and we were trying to figure that out. So sometimes that happens. Sometimes the first time we go, we don't get all the information that we need. Sometimes we need to sit with that a minute, and then just try and go back, try and go back again. So you at least, Jocelyn, got a picture, right? You got a picture. You're pretty sure you saw someone drowning. That's a start. That's a start. So sit with that information. And then when you feel ready, try and go back again and see if you can get more information. See if you can find out if it was you. See if you can find out if it was a family member. See if you can find out who is drowning. They might give you that. That might be all they give next. And then they're going to need you to sit with that. Okay, it was me drowning. Okay, how do I feel about that? How does that make me feel? Okay, maybe it was your child drowned and you couldn't do anything about it to save them, Like, okay, how does that make me feel? Okay, sitting with the feelings of it and then going back and then seeing the rest of the picture. So I had one thing in mind and it brushed up against two other things. It will be interesting to unpack it all. Yeah, Jamie, because everything is so related, right? Everything is related. Most of our past lives, yes, they're vastly different, but there still is a recurring pattern, right? Because there's something that we're supposed to be figuring out. See, as the voice starts again, right? There's something we were supposed to be figuring out. And if we haven't fully done it yet, then it's just gonna keep happening and multiple things can happen, right? It isn't necessarily always just one thing. One thing can lead to another thing, which can lead to another thing, that can lead to another thing. And a lot of times that's how it happens before you get down to the actual root cause of what it was, like the actual root cause of it. Like, yeah, I see this repeating pattern. This is probably tied to this in this situation and da 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 da. And like, what is the actual root cause of where it's coming from? So, um, so she had said something after that. Let me see. Oh, she was giving an example, another example. So she said, I once had a client named Dan who had a stutter, which was interfering with his potential advancement at work. He wanted to find out if there was a past life source, so he used the exercise described above. What he saw on the screen was himself as a young man in an old fashioned military uniform. He'd been captured, however, and he was being interrogated in this past life event. A brutal man was asking him questions, and each time he didn't answer, he would get hit in the mouth. It happened for several hours until the man's entire face was crushed and his jaw was shattered. The entire time, he was telling himself that he must not talk. His face and mouth were so disfigured that he even had difficulty speaking for the rest of his life. Yet he remained proud of the fact that his refusal to speak saved the lives of many men. So it was clear how the records of that event fed Dan's communication experience in this life. He'd been determined not to speak and fearful that doing so would lead to disaster. He used the following technique, however, to rewrite that history and change the conclusions and emotions that had been written deeply in his records. So the second part is getting ready to rewrite past life records. So hopefully my voice will hang in for this, because I feel like we need to go to completion, not just for you all, for me too today. So the second meditation process uses the information from the first. So whatever information you were able to gather from the first, and it allows you to change and release the energy involved. So you can rewrite the records of the single event and even of the long-term results experienced in that life. If you didn't get long-term results, that's okay. You can still rewrite the information that you got. The purpose of this process is to inscribe new records of thought and emotion and to empower you in a situation where you might have been feeling powerless the first time around. By doing this, you will generate different vibrations, clearing old obstacles and creating new records that reach into this life. The process is fairly straightforward. You'll go back to the viewing screen in your sacred temple, then use the meditation in order to revisit and rewrite the event in question. This time, you have all the power and control. You're going to visualize the originating scene with a new outcome, one that empowers and supports you and leads you to a happy and satisfied experience. You can even make what may seem to be extreme changes that to shift the event into a healthy and happy one, filling your new records with personal power. For example, if you were a child in the originating event and you saw that you were being mistreated or harmed in some way, you can actually visualize yourself getting larger and gaining control of the situation. Tell the person who is being hurtful to you that they no longer want to treat you that way. See them respond with agreement and acquiescence. Take some time in the rewritten record to experience and enjoy the new emotions you're feeling. Appreciate your new perspective and your increased sense of strength, value, and personal resourcefulness. Let yourself create a record of all new feelings, along with the positive beliefs and conclusions that go hand in hand with them. To do so, you can use predetermined affirmations or you can write them into your records at the time using basic statements such as I am strong and self-actualized, I am powerful in any situation, I am worthy and valuable, deserving of love and respect. So after you go and affirm these changes, you're going to make sure that you take a few moments to move forward in that life. Even if you didn't see it before, this time you're going to visualize yourself as a person who is self-directed, happy, and empowered. You're going to see yourself living a long, healthy, and prosperous life before ending the rewritten record. So there are many options in record rewriting. For example, if you witnessed a past life where someone came up from behind you to push you off a cliff, you could turn around and inform that person that hurting you is not an option, visualizing that person leaving in total agreement. Or you could see yourself just steps ahead and they fall off the cliff themselves. Or you could see yourself having a meeting with the person before the event takes place, finding out what is at the source and resolving the matter then. However you turn things around, the action is intended to help take your power back. The purpose of this process is to bring the qualities of your higher self, your divine nature, which is always with you throughout eternity, into that experience, connecting with your eternal wisdom. Grace, courage, peace, and power changes both you and the experience at its core vibration. You can use this technique to rewrite the record information that you receive in any modality, whether from regression, from readings or viewings, or even from dreams or other sources. You can also rewrite the records of any experience in this life. However, if you have had traumatic experiences in this life, you may need to rewrite those records a number of times, excuse me, and follow them up with specific affirmations that address the issue. The changes will take place, so let yourself rewrite it. So by rewriting the past, you erase the old record of fear and powerlessness. You strip away the attached emotions and false conclusions that went with it. This will reestablish your truth and remind you of the options that always exist for you. A new sense of personal and spiritual power will appear regarding all of your choices, experiences, and relationships in this life and in all the time to come. So for, excuse me, for Jocelyn's example, Jocelyn, you can see yourself, you don't even have to know who it is that's drowning. You can either see somebody before they go in the water, stopping them from going in. You could jump in and save them. Anything that's going to take what it is and change it into something that is more positive or better, um, is what you can do. All right. I am going to grab one more. What's it called? Throat thing. I'm going to grab one more throat thing. All right. And then we're going to go in and we're going to rewrite. We're going to rewrite this record. So we're going to be, like I said, going back to our sacred temple, viewing the screen of our past life. You're going to revisit the screen that you want to rewrite, but this time you're going to be able to see the scene unfold exactly as you wish, with a more beneficial and empowering outcome for you. So take a few minutes to prepare a new narrative to reframe the entire event. So consider the action that would give you more power and a greater sense of own value. Consider how you want to direct it to create a beneficial and empowering outcome for you. So I'll give you all a minute to do that before we go into this. If anybody's struggling to rewrite it, let me know. All right, so if people could just throw some hearts up to let me know if they're ready, if they've rewritten their things, if they're ready to go. Okay. All right, so we're gonna get comfortable in whatever position you're in again. You're gonna relax and take a deep breath again. Another relaxation breath. Deep breath in, deep breath out. We're again going to count backwards from 6 to 1, gently moving to the light and love of our own sacred temple. At the count of 1, you'll be at your temple and meeting your guide. You will be able to view the same experience, same place, and same time that you visited before. This time you will be empowered. You will be able to rewrite the record and direct your own reality. So just relax and go deeper and deeper into relaxation with each descending number. So 6, let your whole body relax. Let all the muscles in your arms and legs relax, and just let everything go. Gently let your consciousness float into your heart center. 5, relaxing even further. At the count of 1, you will be at your sacred temple, rewriting the situation and creating a different outcome and a very different approach than before. 4, you can tell the people in this experience how they will treat you. You can change any part of the experience you want. You are the one that directs the experience now. 3, your whole body is relaxed, moving safely and purposefully to your sacred temple now. You are in charge. You have the power now. 2, at the count of 1, you will be able to redirect the event with self-empowerment, happier results, and more beneficial personal records. 1, remaining calm and relaxed, back at your beautiful sacred temple now. Your guide is with you, showing you the viewing screen. Let the screen come to life and see the event you want to rewrite. This time you have the power to make any change you want. People respond to you differently, and you respond to them differently. Take a moment to consider all your options. You choose how you want to go through the experience, and you notice that things are happening differently. You are in charge. Let yourself see the scene taking place in a way that empowers and honors you. You feel so strong and so good about how things are going. You feel so empowered. Take yourself through the situation, but this time the outcome is such a good experience. You have the power to write a new record, a new truth. Let yourself smile a little as you see yourself going through this wonderful, positive outcome, completely empowered and happy. take a moment now to move forward in that life. You see yourself living a long, healthy, prosperous life, one where you are happy, empowered, and in control, experiencing all the joy and achievements that you desire. Now let's take a moment to create a new belief. You are authentically empowered, peaceful, and serene. You are valuable, in control, happy, and free. Affirm and record these truths. Feel all of these wonderful feelings coming up now, vibrating in the records of this new experience. You are valuable. You are powerful. You are deserving and self-directed. All of this is now recorded into your consciousness, into your cells, your understanding, and the records of your eternal life. Just let yourself feel all of these positive energies now. We're going to bring these feelings of strength and power to this present life and this very moment as we're going to slowly come back to this time and space, counting upwards from 1 to 3 now. At the count of 3, you'll be back to this time and space with a new record of that past life and a new belief in your present consciousness about your authentic power, your true value and deserving. You feel healed, whole, healthy, and renewed, filled with a sense of your eternal strength and peace. 1, coming back to this time and space now, bringing back a wonderful, self-loving belief, knowing that it's a part of your consciousness and your eternal records. You have released the negative influence of that past life, and you've changed your personal records with power and joy. 2, coming back to this time and space, no matter what you did or did not see, your eternal consciousness has made great changes here. You have reshaped a new reality, and you know that you can create this power in all of your present circumstances. 3, in the days, weeks, and months to come, you will receive more inspiration and information regarding these changes, and your sense of empowerment will grow and grow. Let's take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Let's take a deep breath, feeling that power, bringing that power back with you into this space. Let's take one more deep breath and exhale. And then slowly start to move your fingers, wiggle your toes. Slowly come back into the space, into the room here and now, knowing that you just rewrote one of your records. Mm. So take your time as long as you need coming back into the space. And then if anyone would like to share, hey Violet, how are you? So good to see you. We just got back from rewriting a record in the Akashic Records. So we're going to let people come in back in the room. If anybody would like to share anything. And then there's a couple more pages in the book to read. And this is where we're going to talk about those releasing affirmations and empowering affirmations that we can say in the days following this to really reinforce, because a lot of times it tries to poke again, right? Tries to come back. So sometimes we have to do it again if it was a really deep-seated issue, and just to help us remember the power that we just felt doing that experience. So, Violet, I had my own experience here today. So, I was sharing a story of one of my past lives with them where I had been silenced, tortured, murdered, and killed because I've been healers in many lives. And during the first reading, my voice started to give out. It got scratchy. I was coughing. It was a real life test during my live on Insight Timer that there was something in one of my records that I still needed to work through. So this time, no issues, right? The second reading, no issues, because while each and every one of you was rewriting your record, even though my eyes were open, even though I was reading the prompts for what you all were supposed to do to rewrite your records, I was doing that in my mind's eye for my record. I was seeing myself being loved, being honored, being valued as a Sicilian shaman. I was envisioning myself living a happy and full life, surrounded by friends and loved ones, with food and wine and dancing. I saw myself die, and I saw myself have a funeral that was revered. I was celebrated. I was loved. I was worshiped. And the second time, my voice didn't crack because I had to do a little more work with that record. The first time wasn't enough. And that's what I'm saying. Each and every one of us here on this app, each and every one of these teachers here on this app, we've all walked the path. We all are continuing to walk the path. And I feel like it's really cool, honestly, that that just happened during my life. Because when it happened the first time, I kind of went to go freak out a little bit because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting ready to have a coughing, hacking fit, and this is going to be terrible. And I'm trying to lead people in a guided meditation. And then I was like, no, 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 ground, ground, ground. We know we're fine. This is a test. My brain kept saying, this is a test. You got this. You got this. You got this. So the journey never ends, right? The journey never ends. It never ends. We are always on it in some way, shape, or form. And from what I have found, the deeper you get connected, the more the veil poking begins, right? The more the tests come. Are you really? Have you really? Are you paying attention? Are you noticing? You know, happened to me 2 nights ago. I was like, I know what's going on here. We're poking the veil. We're seeing. I'm aware. I'm aware of what's going on. And no, we're not doing that. So Mary says, so beautiful. Wow. So I hope that other people had some good experiences. I hope they were able to, rewrite their well, I know most people, you can rewrite your records. A lot of times the first one's a little bit more difficult. The second one is a little bit easier because you're kind of going in with what you want to do. So now I'm just going to read through. This is the part that I said if people wanted to have paper or a journal with them, because there's too many of these in here for me to type them out and put them in my group. Because sometimes people ask me to do that with certain things, and I will, but there's too many of these that I can't do that. So if you want to listen to these, I will try to read them slowly. And if you like any of these, write them down yourselves. And these are the ones, these are affirmations for past life clearing and present empowerment. So, whether it concerns a past life or a present circumstance, these heartfelt emotions can move your healthier intentions forward. Don't just pay lip service to your new way of thinking and feeling, right? And that is the lesson you all just saw me learn. Not that I wasn't taking the seriousness of it, because I take the seriousness of this journey, but we still have to do work. Just because we clear something sometimes doesn't mean we don't have to go back and address it, right? Use the following affirmations and create, or you can create your own as well, or you can take parts of these that you like. So let yourself feel and experience the beneficial emotions and empowerment that they bring. So there's going to be two different sets. The first set are releasing affirmations, and the second set is empowering affirmations. So we're going to start with the releasing ones. So it's, I release the negative energy from any difficult experiences of the past. I'll read them twice. I release the negative energy from any difficult experiences of the past. Next one, I let go of any toxic conclusions I may have as a result of those experiences. I let go of any toxic conclusions I may have made as a result of those experiences. I release feelings of powerlessness or any other difficult feelings based on those events. I'm just going to read them once, and then if people want me to repeat one, I can. I have free will, and I will make my own choices. I no longer need to respond according to any old hidden intentions. I release them and let them go. I release any toxic feelings or conclusions that I may still be carrying now. I release any physical effects I may have carried forward into this life and my current body. I release any toxic attachment to any person, habit, or situation, past or present. I bless the past and let it go. I am free. I like that one. It's short, sweet, and to the point. I can remember that. I bless the past and let it go. I am free. I am free and clear of any past imbalance or misinformation in my body and my mind. I live in my power and my eternal truth. All right, now we're going to move on to the empowering affirmations. I open myself to my spirit's capacity to embrace the full measure of my peace, value, and power, now and always. My body is healthy, vibrant, grounded, and energetic. Divine consciousness fills every cell. I open my heart and mind to a deeper connection with my spirit. I awaken to my divine source and identity more and more each day. I open myself to my spirit's capacity for knowing how to attract and maintain loving relationships and fulfilling and prosperous careers. I forgive all karmic debt and ask that all my karmic debt be forgiven. I feel like everybody needs to write that one down. I forgive all karmic debt and ask that all my karmic debt be forgiven. I engage in healthy thoughts and choices, and I forge honoring relationships with myself and others now and forever. It is safe and comfortable. It is safe and comfortable for me too. And then that's a blank space for you to write out whatever you need to. For example, express myself. That was mine. Express myself. Speak my truth. That was also mine. It might be heal. It might be love, be loved, trust, connect. Insert your word. I open myself to the free and full expression of my power, value, and truth in every situation. Divine energy moves through my eternal life, releasing the past, healing the present, and blessing the future. From now on, I choose freedom and self-empowerment. Each day brings greater enlightenment, purpose, prosperity, and love. I am open to the changes my soul desires. I live in the peace of my eternal perspective, and I know I am blessed. So use these affirmations, ones that you write, ones that you do, to write these new truths in your eternal records and help you apply their energetic changes in your present life. This is crucial to learning the lessons and clearing the problem patterns completely from your records. In addition to the affirmations, there are many other things that you can do to apply your new records to your daily life. So we've got one page left, just where we're going to talk about doing that, doing exactly what we just did. Now what do we do, right? Now what do we do going forward? So once you do your investigation, once you rewrite the records, now you have the opportunity to completely redefine yourself and your life. The reversal of every single past life episode is not at all necessary. All you have to do is learn the lesson and your new awareness, combined with new thoughts, new behaviors. That erases the karma from your eternal records. So, in order to get rid of any residual negative energy, it will be important to support your new records in your ever present choices and your self talk, right? It is super important how we talk to ourselves. This has come up before. If you're calling yourself stupid or I did this or this negative self talk, we're just bringing that record right back to life. So, right back to life. So, in order to get rid of any of that, oh, yeah, self talk, sorry. You do have the power in your life. It's time to believe that and start living in this truth. So, for example, if you've rewritten the past life records where you were submissive, never making yourself a priority, it will be your soul's directive to make yourself a priority now. If in the new records of that life you saw yourself standing up for yourself, making your own choices, and putting yourself first, those changes are what need to be integrated now into your everyday life. They may feel risky, they may feel foreign to you at first, but you've been living a certain way for so long, perhaps even lifetimes, right? And you may be resistant to change. Who really likes change? Nobody really likes change deep down, but change is the only way we grow, right? It's the only way we grow. So, yet, this is the very purpose for rooting out unhealthy and dishonoring patterns, whether past or present, to lift the energy of your eternal life force and to rise to the level of peace and enlightenment that your soul longs for you to achieve. You do have the inner strength to change your thinking, to change your behavior, to take action, and to be optimistic. I like to call it cautiously optimistic is how I like to define it. These are all present record choices. So bring your consciousness to the real power you have to record joy and value in every present moment. This is the next and perhaps most important piece of your Akashic Records creation. So it's the old phrase, walk in the walk and talk in the talk, right? We can go back and we can do all that we want to do in the Akashic records. But if when we come back into this present moment, we are not making any changes in our life, we're not living it in a way that honors the way we rewrote it, we're just going to go back. You're going to start noticing the same patterns again, right? You're going to start having all the same things happening again because we haven't done anything in the present that shows that record that it's written, right? We're not showing it that. We're not showing it that in any way. If I all of a sudden stop speaking my voice, stop speaking my truth, oh, I shouldn't say that or I shouldn't do that. I'm showing that old record. Oh, okay. We're still silenced. It's still not safe. It's still not safe to speak our truth. So I have to, even when it's risky, even when it's hard, even when it's challenging, I have to speak my truth. I have to be able to be who I am authentically in every step of the way. Does that mean sometimes I might be quiet if I'm in certain spaces? I probably might. It doesn't mean that I'm silencing myself. It means that I know this isn't a space where I can safely speak. So I've learned through discernment, maybe I just don't speak in this space. I'm going to speak in this space. Or if I really want to push myself, I speak in that space anyway, right? That's really pushing yourself. When you speak in a space that you are not sure how it's going to be received and you stand in your power and you stand in your truth anyway, that is the ultimate. That is the ultimate thing that we can do, right? No matter where I am, no matter who I'm talking to, I am going to be my authentic self. If you don't like it, if you don't agree with me, I have nothing but love and light to give back to you. You are entitled to that. But I am not diminishing myself for anyone anymore. I'm not doing that. I'm going to speak my truth. I have to speak my truth. So that's what this is asking you is whatever it was that you did, in this exercise today, whatever area it was we uncovered, whatever record that you rewrote, remember how you rewrote it. And you need to start even small steps, right? Nobody's going to just jump full steam ahead. I mean, some people do, but we are changing things. We're changing habits. We're changing patterns, and that takes time. It's like anything else. You don't go to the gym, decide you want to work out, and you go to the gym and you start going 7 days a week, exercising for 2 hours a day, right? So it's small, actionable steps. When you wake up tomorrow morning, say to yourself, what is one small step I can take today that gets me closer to living that record I rewrote? One small step. That's all it is. So that was a journey, everyone. I am telling you, that was a journey. I've literally never had that happen before. So I'm glad I'm recording this because I am going to go back and rewatch it because that was something. That was something. That was something. I don't know. I feel like maybe somebody needed to see that because maybe they were struggling with theirs. I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, I know why it had to happen for me. I don't know why it had to happen in the middle of my life. but yeah, so if anybody has any questions, if anybody wants to share anything, if not, next week, like I said, I apologize. It slipped my mind that I had not put in next week's live yet, so I will be putting that in. So it'll pop up in the next day or two. So next week, we're moving into kind of the final part of the book, which is part 3, and it's a universe of information and opportunity. So that's when you really start harnessing the power of present moment in record creation in chapter 7. So, like I said at the beginning, I know my room has grown. Hey, Eliyahu, so good to see you. So good to see you. Oh, Mary, thank you. Hello, hello. I never get to see Eliyahu anymore because you're in South Korea and the times. It's the middle of the night. And although I am a night person, if I have to go to work the next day, I can't stay up till 3:30. I want to, but I can't. So, oh, your texting doesn't work. Okay. Yep, I will look for it. Mary, yes, there is. You have a live at 12:45 my time today. Okay, maybe I will make that because I was up, me and someone else were up very late last night. So I probably will not be able to fall asleep super early tonight. So maybe I can, yeah, there she is. She's laughing. We're like messaging each other. Like, I don't even know what it was, like 3:30, something in the morning. It was crazy. um, but yeah. But yeah, I'll be looking for your email. And Mary, to answer your question, yes, there is. So a lot of people come in the room, so I'm just going to mention that too. All of these are recorded. If for any reason you want to watch it again, or if you are really like this book and you want to listen to the chapters before it, all of them have been recorded. You can go to my About section on Insight Timer, go all the way back down to the bottom to my link, and there you can find the information on that. And Mary, there you can find the information that you're asking about as well. It's right in my, I'm allowed to say link tree, right? I'm allowed to say link tree, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, if you go to my About section, go down to the bottom, my link to my link tree, it'll give you all the information. What did Ginger say? What was going on last night? I was awake at 3:02. Oh, yeah. Yes. Last night was magical. I literally am still reeling from it today, which is probably how something was able to slip in. And I needed to do this during the live because I was staying in that energy because it was so amazing. But Violet 108, if everybody doesn't know, Eliyahu as well, amazing teachers on here, go give them a follow. Violet 108 hosts the Ask Your Guides, but she hosts so much more. She basically is a champion for Insight Timer teachers. She's a huge tech person, so she has mastered OBX, which is ridiculous, to be able to have multiple teachers on live at the same time. And last night was the monthly intuitive tarot and oracle cafe. And there was Violet was there, Carly from A Smile to Heaven, CG was there, I was there, and Vivian, oh, I forget her last name. Vivian, oh, it's not coming to me. Vivian something. Gerard, thank you. Vivian Gerard was there, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Yeah, right. If it wasn't the middle of the night. And yeah, it was such a great experience. We all really connected really well that we want to do it again. And we want to keep in contact with each other and talk to each other more, because it truly was a space of pure love and support, and each soul seeing each other's soul, meeting it exactly where it is, and just no ideas, no preconceived notions, no agendas, no competition, just truly seeing and feeling each other and just really connecting. So it was magical. I can't wait till September 12th. September 12th is the next one that all of us will be there. Oh, Jamie said that was a great live. I joined while sitting beside a massive lavender bush with busy bees all over it. Oh, yeah. That's amazing, Jamie. And yes, the replay of that is also available, because I was watching that as well. And if you don't follow Violet 108, you can follow her as well and do the same thing I suggested you do for me. Go to Violet's About section and go down to the bottom to the link, and you can find where all of that is. All of the things that are done and recorded are always available to be viewed again. So awesome. Oh, there you go. Mary says, oh, good to know. And yeah, I really I don't normally watch my own replays, but I enjoyed watching the replay of last night. And then Violet also hosted something amazing today. Uh, it, yes, Ginger. Yes, it is on hers. Yep, it's on hers. It was on hers last night. Yeah, it was already there last night. She's on it. Violet is definitely the tech person. But yeah, and then earlier today, Violet hosted, it was a Pause for Peace, and God, what were there, like 30 teachers there? And Dakota Earthcloud Walker, if nobody knows who Dakota Earthcloud Walker is, my Lord, go and follow her. I have never seen anything like it. I'm getting energy because I'm like feeling it again. She does visuals, like actually shares her screen, and it's almost like you're watching a movie or a show or something, with these guided meditations. But this one was like, what'd she call it? A slam something. But it was amazing to open it, and then just everyone kind of sharing what peace means to them. I highly recommend watching that again too. It was Slam Nation. That's it. Slam Nation. And then Dakota will have that on hers as well. She's going to have just that on the initials that Ginger put. And then Violet has the whole thing. But yeah, so if you don't follow Violet, she's the one, no matter who the teacher is, that's joining her, it's always under her. So that's how you can find it. And then she also has a group on Insight Timer called Ask Your Guides, where you can find out information about what's coming on, what's coming up, what's going on, and then just chatting with everybody, chatting with each other and chatting with teachers and everybody interacting. Um, yeah, there was a whole bunch. Mary says that settles it. No more sleep, just Insight Timer. I know, right? You can't, you literally, I feel like you could. And that's why I kind of stepped back from attending lives for a little bit, because it was literally all I was doing. And I was just like, it's not bad to do that, right? It isn't. but I needed to be in a space of kind of creation for myself. And I still had a few things I needed to do on my journey. So they were like, just limit it a little bit. Let me just scale it back just a little bit, because you need your you time, right? You need your silence time, you need your creation time, you need this too. So now we're creating a healthy balance. Yes, exactly. We get to balance consumption and creativity. Exactly. A little limit. Yes, just a little limit. Right. A little limit. Um, so yeah, I also have a group on here called the Sacred Soul Circle. So if you guys want to join that, I put things in there. Like I channel messages all the time. So I'll put channeled messages in there. I do 2 lives a week. I do this one, Story Saturday, 7:33 p.m. I also do Soul Fire gatherings on Wednesdays at 7:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And those are where I channel. Those are, I do an opening invocation to bring us all into circle. I do a brief energy reading. I've channeled a card for the collective. I read that, and then I open it up for individual readings or channeled messages. Never know what's coming through now. Now. So the one 2 weeks ago, it was pretty much all channeled messages. So, um, and then tomorrow, I actually have a live scheduled at 1:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't remember what I called it. Soul on Fire or Return to Your Soul Fire. But basically, I have a retreat in Sedona in October, and it's really easy to read about it. It's really easy to read the words on the place, but it's different to feel it. So tomorrow's live is going to be about sharing the story about how it came to creation, because I had to walk through my own fire. I had to walk through my own shadows. I had to do all those things first to then be able to offer them to others, right? So it's kind of my story of going through all that and then creating Soul on Fire. And then I want people to feel the energy of it, because this retreat is not for everyone. It is a very, very fire-based energy. Like, we burning it down. You burn in shadows, you burn in fears, we burn in everything down. So you got to be ready to do that. So I have a guided meditation to introduce you to the energy of that retreat, to see if you're ready for it. So super. I did that Thursday night, and it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. And energy, it doesn't matter where we are, right? You can feel energy, so it's amazing that we have the space to do it. So I had a whole bunch of people sign up for tomorrow, I'm sure, thanks to last night's live. So I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. But normally it's just Wednesday and Saturdays that I'm here. So okay, yeah, we're almost at 2 hours. So we're going to wrap it up, because I don't normally do 5 lives a week. So, and I have one more to go. I'm on 4. So that's another reason my voice is like, you're not normally talking this long, this many days in a row. So I will have this uploaded by tomorrow. Probably not tonight. It'll probably be tomorrow, because I always have a routine after I do these things. I go in my sacred bath. That's where I do my clearing with water. Again, violet water. I didn't bring that up last night, but water for me means something different too, as well, than even other people. Water for me is very cleansing, right? Cleansing, grounding. So yeah, so good to see you, at least for a little bit, Eliyahu. I will certainly try to see if I'm still up. I will definitely pop into your live later. So all right, everyone, thank you so much for being here. And I hope to see you all again soon. If it's your night, I hope you have a good night. If it's your day, I hope you have a good day, and hope to see you soon. All right, bye.